Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be doing a test boil using the Hobo Stove on a Kelly Kettle base camp set. So earlier I did a review on the Kelly Kettle Base Camp Ultimate Cook set, and it's based around the Kelly Kettle itself, which is a water boiler. And on the bottom side of the water boiler, this is the fire pot, and then inside the fire pot I have a pot and a lid, as well as this attachment here, and this is the Hobo Stove, and that's what we're going to be trying out today. So if this is the kind of thing you like to see, go ahead and subscribe, click like, ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. Go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment box. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Burning River Bushcraft. I teach online classes at outdoorcore.com. So this is actually sold by Kelly Kettle as a standalone item. Most of the other items just work in conjunction with the Kelly Kettle itself, but you can buy just the fire base and you can buy just the Hobo Stove itself to turn this into a twig stove. Now Kelly Kettle does have a bunch of attachments, and I have most of them, and the last video I did with the Kelly Kettle was with this pot stand. So the pot stand attachment goes into the top of the Kelly Kettle, and as the fire is burning up from the inside, I can support my pot and I can cook or simmer or heat on top. And that didn't work out too well. I've carried this for years, I've used it, but I've never tried a full boil. And this will do a simmer, but the Kelly Kettle boils water so fast and uses such a small amount of fuel, you really can't boil a full pot of water on top of this. The biggest disadvantage to the pot stand is I couldn't add more wood to the fire. I had to use the air hole in the fire pot itself, so I was just sticking small sticks in here. Traditionally I feed them right through the top when I'm using the Kelly Kettle just as a boiler. So that didn't work out too well, but with the Hobo Stove I've got a cutout where I can add wood. So this is probably going to be the saving grace of this system. With the attached pot on, I should be able to feed sticks right through. The pot support also works with the fire base and the Hobo Stove. So the pot support comes right apart and stacks nice and flat. So if I was carrying the whole Kelly system, I definitely would have this with me. If I was using just the fire base and the Hobo Stove as a standalone item, if I was traditionally camping in the woods and I was in an area where I couldn't have an open fire, I would probably not be using this. If I was in an area where I was maybe tailgating or burning off a picnic table in a park or somewhere off of concrete or asphalt, something like this is going to raise it up and make it a whole lot less likely to cause any damage to the surrounding areas. So I've already got a base fire here because I used the Kelly Kettle to boil some water for a taste test. I did a review on Mountain House chicken and dumplings. That video is going to be available on my channel. But with a base fire established here, I'm just going to put the fire ring on the Hobo Stove, and I've got a pot of cool water here. It's about 32 degrees out today, and I'm going to go ahead and cover that. I'll start the timer and we'll see how well this thing works. So of course this is not going to be an exact science. You may do this same experiment and have the fire burning higher. The temperature could be different. But the main thing I'm trying to get is the usability of it. If it takes me 15 minutes to get water boiling, then you can assume that you can simmer, but there probably is better alternatives to make a boil. So we're just a few minutes in, and this is already working better than I thought it would. The fact that I can add wood to it, I can control the burn. So unlike the Kelly Kettle, you can't really simmer down with it. So if I wanted a small flame, I would have a small flame. In this case, I've got it stoked up because I'm trying to get a quick boil, and that's exactly what I'm getting. I can hear the water in here sizzling around pretty good. Now, this is a newer thing that I bought, the stovetop. I bought the Kelly Kettle as a kit. It wasn't quite the full ultimate kit, but it's got most of the pieces in there. The stove's a newer thing, so I questioned did I even need it. Prior to that, I've got the grate. So this grill grate goes in exactly where the Hobo Stove sits. And you can sit your pot on here, but what you can't do is easily add wood to this. When I would have larger pieces of meat that I was cooking, I would either lift up and slide under, or I would just take one side off and just be grilling on one side as I'm adding sticks to keep the coals going. So already I'm pretty impressed with this. I don't have a lot of experience with the twig stoves. There are a lot of them, and this is kind of bulky compared to most of them, but this is something I already have with me because I carry a Kelly Kettle. I hear the water boiling under here, and we are right about 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Let me pop it up here and take a quick look. And yes, we are absolutely boiling. So it's entirely possible that this was burned a little bit quicker. With the lid on, I couldn't quite see it. With the lid off, it's not going to boil as fast. So it's a kind of a catch-22. Anything in the 7, 8, even a 9-minute mark, I'm pretty happy with. And again, this is a twig burner essentially. So this is something that's no fuel. You're just picking up sticks off the ground or scrap pieces like I had today. So 100% this is usable. 100% if I was cooking with the Kelly Kettle system and I needed to simmer something or keep it on a low heat for 20 minutes, it is completely doable with this stove ring. This is a 100% success. All right, so fuel for free with the Hobo Stove with the Kelly Kettle base camp system. This works just great. This is the largest model they make. If you had the Scout, which is the intermediate size, your fire base and Hobo Stove would be identical. For the Trekker, it's going to be smaller, but the stove's still going to work the same way. You would be able to heat up water or food in a canteen cup or a nesting cup size with no issue whatsoever. But this is a must-have. If you have the Kelly system and you like it and you carry it, for the weight that you're adding for this Hobo Stove, it's a no-brainer. It's inexpensive. It weighs nothing. It nests in your system already and you don't even know it's there. So till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.